All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here in our temple courtyard, and we're actually not focusing on the temple today. We haven't focused on the temple in a while. We're actually building up the area around the temple right now, because I think it's time. You know, we've got this whole rocky landscape around here, and we've been working on our village up on the hill. And if you've been here the last couple weeks, we've been building out the lore of this village. The idea was that this village is built up on the hilltop because at one point this whole land was flooded, and the people that were in this civilization many, many moons ago underneath this temple had to flee up onto the top of the hill, and that's where they built their civilization. So, in order for me to build out this lore, I did some terraforming the last couple weeks. And over the course of the last week, I've been building this retaining wall, so to speak, kind of as like the village boundary, because it was it like led up to the water. And I want to show you all it because this is what I've been working on. I think it looks nice. I built it all out of mud. I think it really makes the village look a lot more high up than it is. I think I might dig down this section that I'm standing on a little more. But yeah, this used to be a pretty flat hill, not flat, but like a gradual slope up to it. But I feel like this is kind of a better flow to it. It kind of makes it more dramatic, which I like. I think it fits a little better. If you imagine the water line went up to somewhere on that wall, I think it fits a little better. I didn't finish the wall. I only went up to, well, to here. But I think it's a start. And I think it looks nice. I think it fits the criteria of what we were looking for. Maybe the land needs to change a little bit around it more, but that can be something for a later date. But one thing I want to build, you know, we talked about if this was water, like, you know, this went down to the water line, or the water line kind of went up to this wall. There might be some remnants of docks still, so I kind of want to put some logs sticking up kind of out here to mimic where the docks would have been. Hey, sounds good, Libby. Libby, thank you for stopping by and keeping your streak going. Even though you said you wouldn't be able to, I appreciate you stopping by. Take care. Hope you and your mom have a fun time in Chicago and safe travels. Like the bugs are volunteers. I should have asked this question before Libby left. But yeah, so we have this nice retaining wall. I might put some docks, I think, over here. I mean, this was going to be just a fast way down, but I think this is where a dock would have been placed, kind of where that path is, you know, just a little sideways dock there. So I might just build out like what that, maybe just the support posts from it, because I don't know if they'd be around anymore, you know, if it's that long ago, but we could put some logs sticking up like kind of jagged, and maybe a shipwreck or something, I don't know. But yeah, this area is really developing well. I kind of want to keep filling it out so the temple doesn't seem like it's in the middle of nowhere. The other thing that I really want to do, other than building up the village a little more, is make this into kind of a big rolling pasture. So I was gonna flatten this out more for Buddy to use as a field for animals. I might also fence it off, and we can just have a huge open range for animals to roam in and have some wheat fields in between and whatnot. That's kind of what I'm picturing in this whole section. There is a giant ravine in the way, which I don't really like. But we got to make do. And the annoying thing about the ravine is it continues right over there, and I got to get down. So the ravine does kind of make the path a little sketchy here. So if we can do something about this, I might just close it off, honestly. Because we can leave it open up here, but I might close it off there just to make it a little safer. But yes, the village doesn't have too much in it right now. We talked about building some farms up here, like terraced farmland up in the hills. But otherwise, I'd like to build a couple more houses, and just increase our population a little bit. We have a couple people, but Not a lot. So that's kind of the overall plan, the agenda. I like the wall the way it is now. I think today we're gonna build the docks. We might work on the pasture a little bit. And then do not forget, we will be playing some Super Battle Golf later tonight. There was a new update that just went out. So we're going to be playing that. And when we are playing that, which is going to be around 9:15 or so, maybe a little earlier now that it's just me, I'm going to be giving away a copy of the game. So if you want to play for yourself, you want to potentially win a copy, be sure to stick around in chat. It's just going to be one of those you have to like type something in chat in order to enter the giveaway. So stick around for that. And yeah, let's start building this out. I think getting a lay of the land might be a good idea. But I will go get some. I think oak wood is what we're probably going to use. I mean, that's kind of what we have everywhere. So I might just use oak for the docks too. I don't have any on me. I just have a ton of dirt. So we'll go get some of that and just kind of, and it's not even going to be usable docks, just more of a, this is where the docks used to be. And then when the water line receded, you know, maybe the docks fell apart or something. I don't know. That's the cool thing about lore, is as nice as it is to build it up however you want, you can also just make any excuse that you want about things, which is kind of nice. You know, you get the excuse of you're the writer, so write the story however you want. So we should have oak wood. I still don't know the layout of these chests. We don't have a lot. Maybe we'll go get some more, because that's really, really not a lot. Yes, Bex, you do. That Bex, that reads like the person on Facebook who's just like, one like and I'll make myself a chicken pot pie, and then the guy likes his own status and then comments on it, damn, all right, I guess. Or the chat has spoken, you know, or I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't a chicken pot pie, but it was something silly. Let's go get some more oak wood before we get too far into details. Well, now, Cal, why did you have to sigh like that? So I'm kind of envisioning leading up to this village, kind of where I said that there would be this pasture. I don't know if I actually want animals there, or if I want it to be like a giant wheat field. Because I think like a huge farmland leading up to the temple would be pretty cool. But there's two trains of thought here, and maybe I'll pass them both off to you guys, and you let me know your thoughts based on, I guess, what you think would make sense, but also just what would be better in the area. So there's two trains of thought. Number one is kind of like when you leave a city area and you get out into the rural zones, you have large sweeping farm fields. So as you get outside of the village, you'd have a big farm field between the two. So that would make sense. You know, step number one. That would make sense. You'd have a big farm field. Or, why is our villager out here? What are you doing? I don't have enough rotten flesh for him. Or, because the temple is so grand, and, like, honestly, it's huge, you know, does it really make sense for the village to end here and then have just farmland between the village and the temple? Or should the village extend down to the temple more? You know, historically, like, this is the old town up on this hill, but the new town could be down here. And so do we add in a bunch of houses in between this spot as like a, you know, this is where the village used to be. This is where the village has been moving to and growing to, and then they built this temple on the ocean. You think more village? I think I'm kind of leaning towards that way too. I don't know if I'd necessarily go bigger houses towards the temple, Eric. Like, like richer houses, but I think more of like urban sprawl. You know, I'm kind of thinking about see, my whole honeymoon was just a research trip. I'm kind of thinking about my experience in Rome, that they had this hill outside of the Colosseum, Palatine Hill. And it's where all the old emperors used to live. Like ancient, thousands of years ago. Like they lived upon that hill, like the Pope lived up on that hill. Overlooking like the main street of Rome. And not necessarily was it at the time it was the fanciest house, you know. But nowadays it's more of an ancient house. I don't think we would go to the level that these would be ancient houses, but these would definitely be older style houses. Like you can tell they're older. Maybe we can build them up a little older too. And then the space down below the hill and around the temple is where the city grew to. Like that's where everybody lived. You know, once the water line receded and the population could boom, that's where everyone went. If your temple's a trading hub, it'd be built up around it. Right. That's what I'm thinking too, Narwhal. So as much as I want there to be farmland, I almost don't think that the farmland would be out here. I think it would be a village. And I like the idea of then using some similar building styles to the temple. Maybe not all diorite, but it could be a mixture of those things. And maybe we can play around with some items too. But I think it'd be cool. Maybe we flatten out that ravine a little bit, or we figure out how the village could piece its way together with the ravine in there. And just maybe put down some plots of where houses should be. The hard thing here is going to be, do we follow a grid or do we follow the natural lay of the land? I think it's probably old enough to follow the natural lay of the land, but there will be some main streets. So we'll have, obviously that's like the main pathway, but I actually think there will also be another main pathway here. Like that was the original track for like wagons and stuff and whatnot, but I feel like the city will have actually be built up in here, and that's like the way around the city. You know, that's the belt line. So let's think about what the pathways look like. I think it would be really cool if there were pathways along the wall, like down along the wall, you know? Like once it flattens out, that's where the walkways are. Yo, what's up, Phony? Welcome, welcome. Oh, amazing, Bex. You're in for a great Monday night, I can tell you that. And maybe I'll even dig down the dirt a little more to make that more pronounced, but I think having like a little alley between like the wall and like a little house makes sense. Obviously the house can't be too tall because it'd be taller than the wall. But little like 4-block tall houses I think would be cool to like smatter in about in there. Maybe let's start looking at just what that would look like. I think if we could do a mixture of diorite and stone bricks, I think that might be where I want to go. Because I don't want just diorite. I think that'll look really tacky. Now, it could look cool if the whole village is the same color template, but I just don't know if that's... It kind of look like Santorini, you know, which I think would be cool. I think it'd be a really neat design path. I just don't know if it's the design path I would want. Let's take a look at what we could do with diorite and stone bricks. Maybe andesite too? Or andesite instead? I don't know if these blocks are going to go together at all. It might be pretty gross. And if it is gross, we can absolutely not do it. Hey, no worries. No worries, Phony. Very nice. All right. So if we were to just say I thought I saw something purple over here. Obviously, the ravine's a little annoying. We'll deal with that. But let's just go up here. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, Phony. Let's just say it's about here for now. If we did, it's kind of hard that we're on a hill. All right, this is just going to be an example. Doesn't have to be big. Like if this is a house, what do we make the house actually look like? Did I break those 4 wide? Yeah, I did. Like, would it be gross if I did that as the walls? Maybe just have windows on like 2 sides, you know? Actually, I could do... I'm prepared for this look to look really gross. This is purely experimental right now. Yeah, that's really gross. We got to be a little more creative with our blocks. I do think I want to use stone brick, though. I feel like that's the natural progression. You know, the village up top used wood, and it used... I guess it does use cobblestone. It used terracotta. We could use terracotta, too, actually. We would have to go hunting for some, but... we could probably use terracotta. I wonder what we could do if we used smooth diorite and terracotta. And actually, I might just take one of these buildings up here as an example. There's a lot of terracotta at spawn. Okay. Like, you know, I'm looking at, like, these houses, you know. Like, they're just terracotta and wood. What if we did... and then, like, the base would also be, you know. Maybe not white terracotta. It's giving Animal Crossing house. This one definitely is, because it's just a little house. But I like that. What color is this? This is just white terracotta. Can we just go and look at terracotta colors for a second? All right, let's, I just want to experiment with one. We might put a bunch of colors down and then see how we like it. So let's go back to our little house. I have no idea how big we're going to make them. If it's a 5x5 or... was that other house a 3x3? I think it was. Let's just go with that for now. All right, so let's just look at terracotta. White is fine. Let's look at light gray. Wow, I have no room in my inventory. Let's look at light blue and cyan, maybe? Cyan's just gray. That is actually blue, though. What did this one look like? This one was taller, wasn't it? Yeah, well, that's because there's a step up into the house. I like that, though. It might be a little tall, but that's okay. So I don't mind the gray. Let's just say we did a house like... Well, and obviously there has to be a door here, so... Is there another color that we want to try? We can just go with white for now. Now, I realize it kind of looks like a Rubik's Cube right now. Is that going to look weird in this village? Or by this temple? I think it kind of does. I mean, one, it's just a cube, so it obviously looks a little weird. Here's the thing that I'm falling under right now. I think it would look really cool. Again, it'd kind of look like Santorini if we did this on the roof of every house. That would look cool. I don't know if terracotta's the move, though. It doesn't help I just made a big cube, though. That really does not help. I almost want to see two. Let's just delete this or make it a little shorter. Right. That's the thing, Bex, is it is just incredibly bland. There's nothing to indicate it's a house and not a cube. True. But if we do... I kind of want to see how it looks if we're just flush against the ground. Well, the corners can be. You know, if we do that, and let's just, for the sake of it, put some glass in. And put a door on it. Is being flat with the ground better? Oh, I don't know what it would do here. Because, yeah, we are going to kind of be building these on hillsides, too. It's the hard thing about building it like the temple is the temple has courts on all the corners, and I'm not building an entire village with courts on the corners. And I don't want to build all the houses to just be diorite like this, because I honestly think this looks ugly. Very truthfully. Not saying that this doesn't look ugly, though. This looks pretty ugly. Let's sleep. I like the idea of them being tucked into the hillside. Well, what do you mean by tucked into the hillside, Eric? Oh, sorry, that was Bex. I really like either having, like, an alleyway alongside the wall or the... Yeah, either a walkway or right up against it. Obviously, I don't know how close they'd be to here. This is just where I'm building an example, but... Alright, let me throw one more thing for now. Built into the hill rather than on top of it. Sure. I think I know what you mean. And I think that was what I wanted. I don't know if I know how to achieve it, though. Like, is it gonna look bad if I just do the same design as the temple? It's just so white. Like, the whole temple's white, and I honestly kind of don't like it, but I've already made my bed, so I gotta sleep in it too. Also, the houses do not just have to be a square. That might not help my case either, that I'm literally just making it a cube. I think that just looks too similar to the temple. That'd look weird if all the houses around it were the same. Oh. Is that the tornado siren going off? I think that is the tornado siren going off. Hey, let me check the weather real quick, chat. Yes, Narwhal, I do plan on building the roads first. Ongoing tornado watch. There's a 34% chance of rain at 9 p.m. There's literally no clouds in the sky, and there's the littlest bit of rain going over Wisconsin right now in little tiny smatterings. Is there somewhere in our county that's getting hit, and that's why? Listen, I'm not one to downplay when like the tornado sirens go off. Like, legitimately, I take it pretty seriously. This might be one of like the one times where I'm like, I don't understand why it's going off and I don't care. Because even looking at the radar, like the only thing I'm even seeing remotely near us is rain. Or it's the very top corner of our county. I guess maybe down here. That's a different county though too. Eric, I'd go walk outside right now, genuinely. And I'd show you guys our radar map, but I don't want to dox myself. Tornado warning until 8:45. Well, hey, if I go down, at least it's being streamed, you know. Someone upload the VOD for me. There's a threat for gorilla hail. I'm sorry, what the hell is that? High-res 6-hour radar. Okay, let's look at this. I mean, there are storms, not in our county yet. This is very odd. Because even right now when I'm looking at radar, there's not rain in our county yet. There are storms in the county above us. Some red storms, notably. And there's some storms in the county to the west of us. But there's nothing in our county. And technically, at 8:30, it's going to break into the top corner of our county. We're in the middle of our county. And it's going to go in the southern bit of our county. I guess if that changes, but again, that's like so long from now. That's an hour from now. I don't know why they'd be setting off the sirens now. See, this is how you make people not take the sirens seriously. Anyway, back to it. Well, yeah, we have been in a tornado watch since I think 4 for us. But the warning, I don't know, it is pretty windy out, but okay. Yes, I agree that the temple needs texture. I don't know yet what that looks like. It needs more of this on it. Which one's the bad one? The warning. A watch just means that conditions are favorable that a tornado could happen. A warning means there is a tornado. But yes, I would like to plan the roads first. I just kind of want to have a design direction about the houses. Because then I could get, like, the footprints of the houses built up. But maybe you're right. Maybe pathways is the first step. So why don't we do that? I do like the idea of building them into the hillside. The problem with that is it's not a very tall hillside, so I think it'd be really hard to achieve that. Did I ever fix this house up here? No, I didn't. Let me put this back. I thought that's why I had the stripped oak in my inventory. And maybe I should look at what some other villages in the game do, because I might get some inspiration from that. I sent a DM of the backyard if you want to see all the clouds back there. In what? Discord? Well, my bitrate dropped a little bit there too. Probably because I was loading radar maps. There aren't clouds, I was joking. Oh. Yeah, there's not a lot. I mean, those are some pretty big clouds to the north. It looks pretty cool. But not enough to be worried. Those may be famous last words, but I hope not. But yeah, let's think about paths first. So if we build this into like more of a staircase, it would probably, you know, go down and to the left and then maybe connect to this road. So do we make a straight grid? I do think we kind of got to follow the lay of the land. So let's say this path will come this way, but it will curve a little bit to go down this hill over here. And then reconnect. Sometimes the shovel is too good. Oh, wow. That's so weird because, like, radar did not make it seem like that at all. Because that preserves room to build a house up here. Or multiple on the top of this hill. And I guess we'd probably have a few going down the hill, too. This is where city planner needs to come in, and I don't really know how to do that. That's not even in our county, though. I don't know. Actually, I guess it is technically. And if we're gonna have a couple houses in here, well, let's start at the temple and work our way out, maybe. Maybe that makes more sense. In my mind, there's like a pretty thick walking path around the temple. If it's not 3 blocks, maybe it's 4. I think 3. You know, if there were to be a house here, that's too close. Maybe 4. That seems fine. So if there's 4 blocks around the temple everywhere, I might just do it with gravel for now. And it's already nighttime again. I'm moving my bed out here because I'm sick of running into the village or running back here and climbing up the stairs to get to my bed. People would focus building at the temple and the water sources. That's a good point. Like once the water receded and the land was usable again, they'd build it in the important places. Well, we do have a pretty big pond. It's not very big, but we could make it bigger. We've got one over here, which we could build houses around. Or we like build it in to be a public thing. And then we also have a really big one over here. But I don't know how that works with our walking path around the temple. We could figure out how that integrates in later. That little corner of that storm that clipped our county is what's setting us off. Huh. Alright, so let's do this. Let's at least get a perimeter. Who's that flying over? This village isn't technological enough to have surface-to-air missiles yet, so Eric is spared today. We're not that far in our technology tree. No. I just want to empty my inventory a little bit. We have too much stuff and not enough space. Mud can go in there. I came to help. Hey man, these people have seen a lot. I don't think you don't want to intimidate them. But yeah, you're welcome to help. I'll always take it. We have a lot of mud. That's nice. Well, you can do that, Eric? I'm joking. I'm just gonna throw this stuff away. All right. Hacks. Yeah, it's true. All right. So, yeah, let's keep doing this. 4 blocks of a perimeter around the temple as just a walkable area. And I would like to imagine houses would literally butt up against it otherwise. Doesn't mean that their doors would butt up against this road, but they would be this close. And now that I look at it, maybe this is too far. Yeah, but if you think about it, this might be, you know, that tall. No, I think that's fine. I don't know. What do you think? Should it be any closer than that? Either way, I still gotta dig this out. We got all that, and this would come out to here. 1, 2. I swear, sometimes the shovel's just too good. Then all that. So that would be our perimeter. Yeah, I guess maybe that would make sense to think of it that way, Eric, is that the street's 4 wide around the temple, but it's either 2 or 3 wide everywhere else. What I guess I'm imagining is it's 4 wide around the temple. Main streets would be 3 wide, and then alleys between houses maybe would be 2 wide. You know? Market stalls backing up to the temple. Sure. Potentially. Yeah, I don't know how that'll be with these stairs, but more space, do you mean having a bigger gap than that? Because this whole space will be like a courtyard too. Like, I really, the houses will stop here, probably out by the road. All right, Eric's gonna start building some houses, or just to get some ideas. So let's just think, you know, we've got a main pathway here. And honestly, some of these houses wouldn't even have gaps between them, I think, over here. It'd be rows of houses. But maybe at the corner here, if we want it to be like a grid, there would be, you know, a 2 wide out that way. I don't know how straight I necessarily want the paths, but is that not actually the corner? Oh, it's not. That's why that looks so weird. I don't know, Bex. It's not June anymore, so we can't consider anything off the table. You know, and then another path this way. It's true. I do deserve that, actually, Bex. I think it'd be cool if this, too, was like either an L-shaped house or just a couple houses put together. Like one long one and one long one that way, maybe. Yeah, so if we did that... You know, let's just mentally picture that. I'm just trying to... I might not even, like, build necessarily the paths yet, but just, like, the outlines of houses. And then the paths can go around it. Because if we know that we want this to be a house... then, like, this already defines a line, you know? We've got that. And this could be one house. I don't want to use my shovel because it's too fast, but I guess I will. And actually, let's come one more so it's the same width. Because then this one can go out this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, technically. Again, just a wireframe. Don't say it. Don't say it, chat. That's not necessary. And honestly, those are pretty big. We could also subdivide these. Like, they don't have to be the biggest houses. Now, granted, the ones next to the temple maybe are. But now this one would get to come out to there, so... This should actually maybe do this. So this house will be a little longer. So whether it's 1, whether it's 2, I don't know. I'm just doing a skeleton right now. And, you know, that would mean that there'd probably be a pathway along here, you know? Boy, do we even have 3 wide roads anywhere? Or just that main road? I guess maybe one straight path, but... Because this next one would go here. Get my bed out just for this case. What do you mean I can't sleep? It's nighttime. It's pretty much nighttime. Come on. I was just counting out loud, Bex. I was literally just counting. So then we have this one here, which I do really like the idea of if this house here, we always want to have 4 blocks. Yeah, so it actually would do this. You know, depending on how this house sticks out, we could kind of have like a winding alley. So what if this house here was actually a narrow house against the temple, but it did this? I don't know where it makes sense to have alleys either. How do I like this for the house? It's a little big. I realize it's probably the same footprint. I don't hate the look of it though. I'm not. Get out of here. I'm not sold if I really like the diorite. Right, Eric, but like imagine they're connected. You know, like these houses are gonna be touching each other. So they're more like apartments or condos, you know. You're not gonna have yards. Let's see if we build them with the marble or whatever that block is. Then it's like, well, why didn't you just build this with marble? I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'm in the second to last chapter. I'm at 22 hours. Wow. And the reason I didn't build it out of that, Eric, is because you wanted all that material, and I was leaving it for you. All right, let me just see what this would look like quick. So, let's imagine this is a walkway. And then it would turn and go this way. Because there'd be this house here. Or does it make sense to have an alley here? It might make sense to have a little alley. You know, move this house back 1. Is it a weird spot for an alley? Yeah, and actually maybe we just put a little opening here next to this house. Because I kind of liked how the house was connected. It forces the alley to turn there. Again, I'm drawing on my experience in... Where was that? Barcelona. Like, we had a hotel right next to a cathedral. And that whole district around the cathedral was kind of like this, where you're just taking these, like, random windy alleys. Like, it's weird for a path to just take a right turn, like a 90-degree angle, but there were a couple times. Like, we were walking down an alley that looked like this, and at the corner, like, we turned left like this, and up here was a restaurant that we went to. And then there was another left turn. Like, that's just the way that the pathways work. So I think having one enclosed like this would be cool. Now, could they share a wall? No, they can't, because this needs to be the border there. Yeah, and I think as tall as you're building those now, Eric, is as tall as I would want them. Maybe a little taller. If we made them a little shallow, we could potentially make them 2 stories, but I don't know how tall I'd really want them. But I like what I'm seeing so far. So if we do this, and we have a house here that's like... The thing is, we got to deal with the hill now. So, you know, you have a little house there. You'd have to climb up the hill, which is fine. And then I think it makes sense to have another pathway here. Miss the building wand. Nice. Yeah, Phony, I just got into playing, it's not the same Rebirth, but playing Binding of Isaac Rebirth. And I think I've got like 15 or 16 hours in that, and it's one of those that I still have like absolutely no idea what's going on. Which is fun. Huh. So, if I do this, and we make this a 2-block wide alley here, this could be a little shopped because it's right on the corner, you know? Maybe we'll make it a little bigger. It is a cube at that point. But then there could be a building here, but it's taller because you actually have to go up the hill. You know, so it would actually start here, but it would actually be a taller building like that. You know, and then whether or not there's stairs here, I don't know. See, I'm looking at that, Eric, and I think it might be too tall. Just based on I don't want it to be taller than the walls of the temple, but I'll let you cook. I will let you cook and see. I'm letting him do his work right now. I guess also you know, I left the grass in there just because that's where I built the outlines, but the houses do not need to be up a step if we don't want them to. They don't need to be like villager houses. So if they end up not being that tall because their entry is ground level, I think that's fine. Unless you think it makes sense to have a step up. I think the step up, okay, I was like, it kind of impedes on the alley then. Okay, so then this would also lead out to another alley. But does it make sense for this path to be the one that goes up the hill? No, this one should too. Because otherwise it's kind of weird that you're doing this snake, and then you have to turn left here for another building. Crazy Nero, can I join? Well, you got to be part of our Discord. And you got to be reputable to me. Because I have no rules about who can join our server other than they have to be whitelisted by me. I would say immediately no. I'm sorry. I welcome you in here. I'm happy to see someone new and welcome to the stream. Immediately, no, but if you hang out for a little bit, absolutely. I always appreciate more people coming in and building and having fun. But it is meant to be a community server, so you gotta be part of the community. And you're already one step in the right direction with a follow. So thank you, Crazy Nero. Welcome to the Bluecrew. Do hope you stick around. We're working right now on something big. Eric over there is just plotting something out in creative for us to build. But we've built this big temple, and we built, well, the village already was up there on the hill, and now we're building kind of the connecting urban sprawl that would be around this big temple. I realize it's a gross blank slate of diorite right now, but trust the process. You like the color blue? Well, hey, you're just you're really tugging at my heartstrings right now, Nero. You really are, man. You know how to make me happy. All right, so does it make sense for there to be an alley here? I guess. I mean, the only other walkway is over here still out. So I have another one over here. Maybe there should be another one somewhere else. Like after this cluster of houses, we could do a little one. Or we just do one here. How does this feel? Ooh. I like that, Eric. Ooh. I like the balcony. That's prime real estate right there. That is really prime real estate. I like that. I wasn't initially thinking that, I guess I was thinking that this would be one house. And then the one on the side would just be one little one. I think that's fine. Yeah. I like it. I don't know if I would necessarily go with domed roofs or just overhang roofs. I like the idea of just the top, you know, like we have up there, like just a top outline. But I do like this idea so far. I do think that the doorway would never be on the side of the temple, though. I think this would only be a way for people to walk, but not for you to access your house, if that makes sense. Eric just came in, cracked his knuckles, and said, "I got this." I'm here for it, Bex. I'm very happy about that. Very happy about that. All right, pathways. Like there. Yeah. Yeah, I like that, Eric. Blue is the best. Okay, now you're just glazing me. I'm not sure what's going on with this roof over here. Maybe it's just because it's connected. It seems a little odd. I'll let you keep cooking. I'm still trying to figure out pathways. Nero, I gotta know what kind. And this is not. Don't take this as a. This question's not a test. Okay, don't take this as I'm testing you to see what you answer. I'm just genuinely curious. I'm curious, what kind of Minecraft player are you? Are you the guy that goes off and caves for hours while your buddy's building the house? Or are you the one building the house while your buddy's doing the caving? Or are you like the redstone maniac? Everyone has their own archetype when it comes to Minecraft, and I'm really curious what everyone's into. Ah, man, where should this path go? Nero, I swear I thought you were about to say sometimes mine, sometimes craft, and I'd be like, okay. What a generic answer. A little bit of both, though. I'm the same way. Sometimes I really like going on long caving sessions, and sometimes I'm like, let's build a giant temple. It really varies. So, what are we doing? I'm kind of the same way. I used to really like redstone, and then it got a little complicated, and I didn't keep up with it, and now I just don't understand it at all. And of course it's raining. So in a city layout, let's think about this. You walk down this path like you're walking along the temple walls. Along this path, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go into this neighborhood. So you walk along this pathway here, take a left, and then like this is all one way right now. Like it's not a grid at all, which maybe is okay. But if I have this path go straight, then this path here probably shouldn't, because I have two paths all going in this direction. But I guess the only spot I really need houses directly next to each other is this, like, first section. We could also have... Eric, the only other thing about overhangs that I'm realizing now is if we have another house right here, then the overhang will completely block the sun. And I don't know if we would want that. You could always just do, like, trapdoors on the side to make it, like... I don't know if I want bigger streets, though. I think these little alleyways between the houses should be small. Many city layouts are grids. But, like, ancient cities really aren't. But I guess Barcelona is a grid. Because what I'm picturing now is, let's say this right here is another building, okay? And it's a big building. It's actually going to be, like, probably the entire length of this road. So, if this is just, like, an apartment complex, let's say. Blue, can you have your friend drop some random blocks and we guess how many they dropped? Or we absolutely can try. I'm not sure if I entirely know what you mean. So you mean like a number between 1 and 64 and see if we can guess how big the stack of items is? I'm here for it. If Eric wants to play along, make a little guessing game. Oh, like that game we were playing the other night of just random items in a bucket? Not sure on that, Eric. Seems a little too industrial. We played a game where it was just literally guess how many items are in like a bowl, and it's like this 3D animation game where it's like how many AA batteries are in the mixing bowl, and it just drops a whole bunch in, and you have to guess. I think Aura's asking that. You have a stack. All right, folks. Eric's got a stack of items in his hand. Eric, drop them on the ground. Or, well, how do we play this, Eric? Does he drop them individually and then they stack into themselves, or how do you want us to do this? Grid systems originated. Okay, all right, Bex. Then we'll make a grid. Hey, sounds good, Nero. Eric, I would say come a little closer to the ground and then just spam Q the entirety of whatever you have in your hand into the same spot so it all lumps together. But we'll watch it come out and we'll guess how much it is. Sound good? That hurts my... I like it, Bex. See, the thing is, Eric, they will all combine together. All right, chat. You ready? Eric's going to throw his blocks of andesite. We're going to guess how many there are. I'm ready when you are, Eric. Ooh. Okay. Chat, what do we think? How many blocks of andesite did Eric just drop on the ground? My guess is, I'm going to say 25. Would Eric just make funny number or pick random? Or what do you think? And welcome in, Or, by the way. It's nice to see you. 24. Oh. 24. If we're playing Price is Right rules, I've got a really good chance here. 25, 24. Bex, do you have a guess? No funny number between 1 and 64. At least 7. Bex is playing the Price is Right rules here. 1 andesite block. 24 and 25 are pretty funny, Eric. And 42. Thank you, Phony. Or, you got a guess? Nope. Not yet. Or has to guess still. Or did Or come in just to drop that idea and then leave? Which would be pretty funny. All right. Eric, I think it might be time. We've got 24, 25, and 7. What is the answer? I guess I could just pick them up and see. Yeah, just throw the stack my way and I'll... 22! Oh! So, Nero, you were the closest by 2. Because I was 3 away. Wow. I like it. Good job. Good job, Eric. I like how Or came in to suggest that and then wasn't even here to play. Good job. Okay. Back to there. You weren't wrong, Bex. You were not wrong. Technically, which is the best form of correct, you were the most right. Eric, how wide do you think all these houses should be? These are 3. Do you think all the houses should be 3 blocks wide? Because we could do this. Okay, Nero. Good luck. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, 3x3 is going to be a little too small. What I'm thinking is if we do, like, split this one in half. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be a 3x5. I guess the houses could be a 4x5. Many grid systems were created to house the emperor or a temple to the gods at the center. Oh, see, I was basing mine off of, like, ancient Rome. But I like that too, Bex. Yeah, that's valid, Bex, just for easy transport. Because, like, Pompeii had a grid system, and that's ancient. I would know. I've been there. Because if we did this, then you could have an alley between it. Like a thin alley between it. Actually, not this, Eric. Nope, don't touch this yet. I'm changing my mind. Because I don't want another wide horizontal path like this. I think I want the houses to be, instead of 4x5, I want them 5 blocks deep. I want them wider with a path down the middle, I think. But it would be a really thin path. Cities that were unplanned and more organic layout, which happens now. Chicago's so grid heavy because the Chicago fire basically destroyed. True. I mean, that's how you see, like, Boston. Like, Boston is not a grid because it was built on the land that it was built on. And then as it expanded, it turned into a grid. That's way too small for a house, though, Eric. I don't know. I feel like this path should be pretty... This path should be, like, consistent. And maybe once it gets out to this layer, you know, we're 2 houses deep, then we have a wider road as like a ring around the temple, and then more little houses in between it. Does that make sense? So this path that we're working on now is too wide until it gets to here. And then it gets wider. Yo, chat, I'm not out of line for telling that guy he can't play with me, right? Like, he just wanted to come in and be like, oh, sorry, I guess I'll go find someone to play with. Like, I'm not letting someone random that's never been here before join my server. No, we're not doing that. What are we looking at here, Eric? What are we doing? Ah, I see. A quadplex of houses here. I wonder how the only thing I don't like about this giant block of houses is that it would be like all the same roof style, like one big quad, which I think might look weird. But yes, I do think around here there'll be a 3-block wide pathway, maybe not a 4, but 3 is kind of the main streets, I think. 4 is just around the temple. Oh, I like that, Eric. This could be like a storefront. I like this a lot. Yeah, maybe I was like, maybe this one's combined, so it's one big room. And these are 2 small ones. Actually, Eric, instead of this corner being curved, let's have it be this one up here, because this is the one that's going on the main street. So if we make this intersection wider, that's okay, because it is a more central pathway. Good luck, Bex. I think 3. No, I think it'll be... Well... We don't really have any 3-block wide paths from the temple then, do we? Here, yeah, actually, let's make this one that we're on right now be 3. So move these back 1. When it gets to the temple, it turns into 4. And then when it gets to this intersection, it's a 3 meeting a 3, which can extend out that way. And then we'll have another 3 later on down there. So this is like the crossroads of 2 main paths right now. Makes sense? I think so. And we do have this ravine to deal with, which I haven't figured out how we're going to deal with it yet. We'll obviously go up the hill, but this will be a little 2-block. I think the next triple path might be the center of the temple. It might be right here. But that's honestly going out pretty far. Like, I don't think we have to plan the village much further than this right now. Yeah, I think houses overlooking the water would be pretty sweet. And then we could have a little path that goes along down by the water because it's like the watering hole. I'm gonna go get more cobble. I like this. Now we have a plan. I know. Oh, let me get some screenshots first, Eric. Just of general design. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and I guess I should get a picture of, like, the inside of this house. Yeah, I like the idea of some of these houses just being taller because they're built up on the hill. I still feel like this walkway is a little weird. No, it's not, though, because we have a line there. We'll have a line maybe here, too. I don't know how big this house ends up being, but it's fine. Yeah, so then this is just a thinner path because it's a minor path. But you get to here and it's a major pathway. Cool. And then if we're doing a 3 wide here, we'll probably also do a 3 wide here and do something like that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. How is it already nighttime again? I can't wait for straw beds, chat, where I can set my spawn, or I can sleep without setting my spawn. Not that it really matters, but I guess I can't see the moon yet, so it's not nighttime yet. That's the thing about Minecraft, is that the moon and the sun are locked, which is not like how it is in real life. So this game is not realistic whatsoever. In case you were wondering, it's not. Hey, chat, I gotta ask, is anybody excited about Super Battle Golf? Anyone interested? Or is it just me? Like, if it's just me, that's fine. Ooh. You know what I like to? We might be able to make a 2-story house if we just subdivide it. Like, there just needs to be a staircase in one corner, you know? Like, maybe I'm gonna go into creative for a second and just see. I don't know, Eric. It's only as crazy as you make it, you know? Like, this could be like that. And then you have another door here into this house. Like, this is a little house, and then you have a stairway up to the upper floor of this house. I like that. Oh, I should delete this first, but I think we could do that. We could fit in like a 2-story, you know, you live in the upper half, the other is the lower half. Well, let me tell you, if no one's super interested, I don't have to do a game giveaway. I just really like the game, so if other people have been thinking about playing it, I will happily indulge because I want people to experience the game. I also think like this big building, if it's going to be like a shop, could have like an entrance off to the side, which is a staircase up top for like whoever runs the shop to live in. Or, you know, this corner is its own apartment if the shop is on this corner. And then, you know, we have another way up somewhere. Like, I think there's a lot of options. I'm very, very excited to build it out. Yeah, I think there we'll have to go up. I don't know why I really, really like how this is shaping out. Obviously, I don't want anything too tall to take away the view of the village, but you know, I think we could do this. And then, you know, maybe if this is a shop and the entrance is on the corner, where would the staircase up to this house be? It should take up the space that it's in, so it should be like here. Does this all need to be 1 block taller? I think eventually it will. Honestly, I could just build it back this way so they all have to be 1 block taller, like here. However we want it to look, really. That's all that matters. I guess I'd rather they, like, at least stays low for now around the temple, and then like, I think that's a good spot to go up there. And I suppose actually the floor of this one could be this level. Like if they're 2 different buildings. I went in plenty of stores too where like there are stairs down in the middle of the store. Like that's not that out of the ordinary. Like you just make it fit, you know. Wherever you can fit things. So then over here. Or do we just do another road here? I think so, because where's the main? The main path is here. Yeah, so that means that this house would be here. Into that. When in doubt, more road. Honestly. Well, the thing is, I want it to feel dense, though, Bex. Honestly, 8 is really annoying, but this could be another one where it's 2 on top of another, you know? Yeah, I like that being up there too. Because then this is a main road, so this is also going to be 8 by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 8 by 6. This one, I guess it's an 8 by 4, so they are different. But because this one's up on a hill, it does need to probably be one building. Yeah, because again, this is going to be a main road. I think we could probably do this. Because that way the houses will be up on this portion of the hill too. And I like the levels that we already have established here. You know, these are up one level, this one's up another level. I like the verticality that we have right now. See, this one really can't easily be divided in 2 either, which is kind of annoying. But this is a main road here, so maybe this is another one that turns into like a shop. But I just don't know how we divide that. Because even if I do this, like... I guess that's not terrible. 3. Do we have any other, like, 3 wide houses? Sure we do. We have a couple small ones. I don't know. Eric, I'm noticing a trend where the further we get away from the temple, the bigger the houses are. And is that good? Does that make sense? I almost feel like the closer to the temple would be the better houses. But at the same time, maybe not. Like, these are the smallest ones out of all of them. You know? I realize I started with really skinny ones. Is there a way to adjust? I mean, this one here, it can't be any thicker. This one that I'm standing in. It can't be any wider because that's the constraint of the castle. Nope. 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 Because we always want to have a 4-block line. Oh, I guess it could do that. You're right. No, it... Oop. Yeah, it could... If we strictly want to have a 4-block path around it, I don't know how it's already night again, then it shouldn't do that. What I'm wondering, Eric, is can we, or is it going to be too annoying, make this house, bump everything to be one, so like, if I make this house 1 block wider, then this whole house has to shift over 1, and the path has to shift over 1. I don't think, though, this house needs to shift over. Okay. We're going with it. He's following along. He's beginning to believe. I feel like this just makes the houses a little more consistent in terms of sizing. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw what I was doing with this line, Eric, but I can explain it. Okay, but this one, like, these won't change. Because now most houses are at least 4 blocks in a direction. This one's got the little jut out, which maybe that's the balcony upstairs, you know. Otherwise, these are all 4 blocks wide. This one's 4 blocks wide in a spot. This one... And then this wall just needs to be... Oh, Bex, I felt that way over the weekend because I worked late on Friday, and it was legitimately like work got done, went out and did something, got home, went to bed, woke up and left for something, and I was like, oh my God, like, how is it? I feel like the day never had any moment of break in between. Okay, that makes me feel better about the size of some of these houses. This one, I don't know about it being subdivided like this, but I realized I did that earlier. But now I feel like they're a little more consistent. They're all at least 4 blocks wide in a direction. And so they're a little more consistent. For doing a grid, we got to do the grid right. Oh boy, we're getting funky over here. Ooh, is this a path here, Eric? I like that. That's a good spot for a path going to the water. I like it. Sounds good, Bex. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. If this is going to be another major intersection, I wonder if this one should also be... Ooh, I think this, well, I don't know. Oh. I was thinking this would be a main path because it goes to the center of the temple. Maybe there's an entrance on the back. I guess there isn't an entrance, so it is kind of weird to go right there, but I don't know if this path goes all the way even further. Can I see what this looks like from above? I do like the layout of this, though. Oh, I timed that at a bad moment. And, you know, obviously we're doing the hard part first because we're going up the hill. I think what I want for... So if this road that we're on now is a major pathway and it connects to over here, which is a major pathway, that remains the same. I think we've got one alley here and one alley here. I don't think those need to remain the same. I mean, it kind of depends on how the hills work out. Like, because we're going up a hill now, I almost feel like I want a path here. And it can go up and behind, and that's where the entrance to some of these houses would be because they're up here. So instead of 2 paths in this block, it's just this one in the middle. For this side, I guess. I don't really know how it... I don't know how it's going to connect out yet. And we have this giant opening over here, which I might just fill in a little bit of, because I don't know what we're going to do with it otherwise, and I have a lot of dirt, so... I have a lot, Eric. I'll put more in there because I have so much. Not a ton. I don't know. That's a ton, dude. I like how you have your shulker boxes organized. So does this kind of make sense that where you're standing would actually be like a pretty tall house? Ooh, actually. No, Eric, I have an idea. So where you are, like... So if this is a tall house, there could be a house under here. Like, this is a house, you know? Obviously, it'd make it a little bigger, but... You know, we have one house on this level underneath it. And then above that... Oh. Okay, or you just dig out the whole thing. Not entirely what I was intending, but I guess it needs to be all excavated anyways. I don't know if I want one big house, but I think a house underneath and then a house on the next tier up, which would either be accessed from where I am now. Yeah, I think it would. I think I'm picturing two houses in the spot that you're standing at right now. I think I'm picturing this. Or is that just obnoxiously huge? Oh, wait a minute. 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 That's not where I had the path going. I had the path going over here. How does that change things? Okay. I know you just dug that all out, Eric, but maybe here, because what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. What if we did this? Oh, did I just do that wrong? Whoop. There you go. I think you are smelling what I'm stepping in now, Eric. And we push this out 1. It's already night again. And then that alley that I just made is how you access a lot of these, or at least some of them. You know, because then this can be split up into however many houses we think. 2 or 3, probably just 2. Right? Like, how wide is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could just do... Well, the one on the corner could be bigger. So we could do this. But no, then I'm thinking we could also have 2 houses underneath here that are like floor level, you know? And actually, it would be kind of cool if we made these houses sunken too. I don't know if you can put a door on stairs, but I think it'd be cool if... I'm just gonna create it because I don't have a door on me. Can you really not? Oh, it'd have to stick out like that. I think that would be cool. It's unfortunate you can't do that, but... And this, this cobblestone that is here, yeah, this would be an alley. I don't know if it'd be up this high, but yeah. Yeah, you're figuring it out. Or is that how high it has to be to have a house underneath it? No, not if we sunk it in. Well, but if... Oh, I see. If we did this, then, oh yeah, that would be... Whatever the road would be the same texture as the ceiling. And I don't want to sink it any further than this. I think this is fine. Well, and actually, Eric, you know, looking at the size of this, it doesn't even have to be this big. Okay, I see what you're doing now. I see it as like peasant houses. I was actually picturing this would be, if it's 2 houses, it would only be this wide, actually. So we don't even have to worry about what the path looks like if it's only that wide, you know. So we could fit 2 in here, probably. We'll just have to dig out this side a little bit. Yeah, because I actually wasn't thinking back behind here there would be anything. But this could be like a basement of a house. Yeah, when we do it this way, we should have just joined a voice call at this point, but the stream's almost over. We do it this way, it's so big compared to the rest of the houses. I feel like if you're going to live in the house that's underneath another house, it's not going to be a very nice one. It's going to be pretty small. But that doesn't mean that the one above this can't have a basement. So it's not wasted space. But I think that whole back area, I wasn't thinking anything would be there. Because if it's only that deep, we don't have to worry about the pathway necessarily getting in the way. I like that. And obviously we're just doing like wireframes out of cobble right now, but that's my thought. This one is 6 by 5. The other one is admittedly smaller, 5 by 5, but if I move the wall over 1, it wouldn't really change much. Oh. I might move it over 1. Just to see what it looks like. Yeah, that's where it's annoying, but it's fine. I think the house with the curved wall, it'll just have less space, so it should be a little wider. Cool. I like that. And now this path doesn't actually have to be up that high, does it? Can it be down one? I mean, I guess it depends what we make the path out of. Because that feels really high for a path all of a sudden. But if that's the way, then that's the way, you know? I guess it all just depends on how I terraform it. We could also do this, you know? Build it up like that, so... I'll just make it dirt, because I think it'll make more sense. Hmm. It would have to go up another block, though, which... I guess if it does that. Yeah. Oh boy, you're already making progress on this one. Yeah, so up to this point, I have no idea how close to the wall we want to go. Unless you wanted to do some houses built into the wall, which I know you... Okay. That's enough to work with for now. Because I don't know. Buddy is going to be shocked when he comes back. I'll tell you that. And this being a main... I guess this probably should be a main path too. Yeah, because it'll probably connect to a path around the other side. So I like this. It'll eventually go alongside the temple there. We just don't have to necessarily think that far. I will say this house that I'm looking at right now is incredibly small. Like probably too small, but... And it'll be 4 blocks around the... Okay, you already got it. I think I might add a little dock or like a wooden path around that water there so you can technically walk all the way around. Yeah, I think a garden actually in this spot would be pretty nice. That's a good idea. I would say not to go too far that way yet, Eric. I think if the village expands, it's going to be this way and more towards the path we made, not necessarily along that side yet. So I wouldn't worry about that too much yet. All right, how are we looking? Oh, interesting. I see what you're doing. Yeah, see, now that's a 3-block wide section. And I'd say before you go too far with that, Eric, but before you go too far with that, move this path over 1 block so this can be a 4-block wide house. Like this whole major path, move it over 1 block. Yeah, because then these can at least be 4 wide and it's not awkwardly thin. Alright, I'll go sleep again. Just trying to get that bird's eye view, you know? Listen, I really like this, though. I really like where this is going. This house is going to be weird, but we'll figure it out. Alright, let me work a little bit on flattening this out. We don't actually have to go down in there anymore. Alright, so then... Boy, it is a pretty steep rise. Pretty fast in terms of building height here. And is this one big building? I guess this is another pretty vital corner. So we'll probably widen it out again. Yeah, we are covering up this ravine. Needs to go there. Is this all one? Or do we split it down the middle? Nah. I don't think it makes sense to split this one down the middle. I guess we could if we wanted another little 2-block. Yeah, actually, we have one there. Why not also have one here? 1, 2, 11, 12, 13. That's annoying. If we wanted one in the middle, it would go here. What does that mean then? It means this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. This side would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, wait a minute. That's not the middle at all then. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. If it's like that, then this room is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks wide. This room is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5 blocks wide. I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to have it go... Have the one on the main street a little bigger. Have it do this. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So... This one can just be split up in however. This is where we're really going to battle the hill, though. Especially this. This line here is going to be pretty tricky. Unless we have a small house down there and then one up here where I'm standing, which actually could be pretty cool. Yeah, because this path is going to have to probably go up even earlier than this. So let's just build this follow the ground for now. Yep, boom. There is where it's going to be tough. I don't know what we do about paths here now either, because that... Like, we do have a natural line here. So do we have another main path along this back? I don't think so. I think we could just go to another here. I don't know. I think I might only go this far today and then figure out where it goes from there. Yeah, this rise up here is going to be pretty hard. Got to connect to this. But it doesn't mean this can't be two different houses. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, I keep making these even. So we're having two different size houses. Which is honestly probably fine. I might make this one bigger on the ground floor. 5, 6. So now we'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one is going to be tricky. I think we'll probably just cut it here. Yeah. All right. I feel like that is pretty good progress. I don't know how we're going to do doors on these corners. I guess I could just do 2 doors with a pressure plate in the middle. Or I guess you could also... We could do... You know, that. Yeah, that's not bad. We could do that. You'd still have a pressure plate in the middle there. All right. Yeah. We are completely covering this ravine right now, which I do think is okay. I don't know yet how this path is going to go. We will have to go down and light up that ravine, though, but... Yeah, at some point, this needs to be an actual path. But I feel like that's good progress for today. I don't know how I feel about... So every once in a while, there's... And every once in a while, I mean, there's just this one section where we have it set up as one house that's completely surrounded on all 4 sides, which is fine. All the rest of them are split up in some way or shape, except for those. But I think that's okay given the paths that we have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be opposed to us getting rid of this road that I'm standing on and just connecting the houses. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No. like this. Yeah. Because that also means that the only paths to the to the temple are the main paths, the 3 wide. And I kind of like that. I think that makes sense. So if this becomes a garden, then that would be fine. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Boy, these houses are going to be interesting up here. I'll tell you that much. Um, and how it integrates into the wall, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I need to terraform some more around it. Is this really only 4 wide? Oh, I guess a lot of other houses are 4 wide, so that's fine. Some of these houses are big, but that's fine. So they could be like shops and whatnot. Gap than wall. Yeah. I just don't know what that gap looks like. You know, is it still a gradual hill like this, or is it just wall? And if this is a main road and this is a main road, then do we have another? I think maybe this side. Thank you, Saribot. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Eric. I was thinking that too, of like actually having just stone bricks underneath it. Maybe this pathway here is just 2 blocks wide. But it is a pathway. It'll connect to the main 3. And then eventually it'll connect up to the main pathway up at the top. So there'll be, looking at it from above, there will be 3 main roads that go north to south. There will be the pathway along the temple. There will be this pathway down the middle of town. And then there will be the pathway along the wall. And then east-west, there will be the pathway to the left of the temple. There'll be the pathway in the middle of the temple. There'll be the pathway on the right of the temple. And then there's the main, like the old walking path over there. I think that'll work really well. And looking at how it'll shape up, I think that'll be really cool too. Like I'm loving this. I'm loving this kind of like urban planning. I'm a big fan. I do think this one will probably need to be a actual square like that. Hold on, what? Oh, oops. It'll be like this. All right. Well, with that, I don't know. I feel like I'm ready to call it there, Eric. That's some fantastic grid planning, and I could not have done it without you because I didn't know where to start. So, thank you very much. That's certainly a huge help. When we get to actually building the houses, it'd be nice to recruit you. Um, yeah, I like this a lot. It looks cool. It's gonna be a heck of a build, but I think it'll make this temple also like fit in. You know, we talked about wanting to build boat houses out there too, and they'll just match the design. You know, we'll see how far it sprawls to the side. Maybe it even, comes to across this other side of the path too. But I think we'll start with this plot. From that path over to this path. That's a big area. But if we can establish that, like that is such a big urban area around this, and then the old temple, like we can build the temple up here too. I'm really excited. I think it looks real cool. I'm very excited to see where it goes. And I think we'll call it there. So next week, everybody, we're going to be working on this again. We're going to be showing it to Buddy. I'm very excited to see what he thinks of this. Because I'm pumped. I hope you're pumped too. It should be a great time. So be sure to tune in then. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please share with your friends if you enjoyed. If you think you like this kind of build, if you like these kind of builds, and you want to join along, you can join our server. Just come hang out, and we'd love to have you. And yeah,